Alright, Shalom. I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. I'm going to give double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone, GMS who do rule and teach well. Honors to all the brothers out there, to the brotherhood teaching, you brothers that are in GMS, as well as you GMS affiliates. Today, I'm just here on X. You see, you got this website, Insider Paper. I'm not actually subscribed to this page, but I'm going to probably have them finish with this. But I always get notifications for them. I always look at their page and stuff. And you see here now, thousands join in Washington, D.C. pro-Palestine protest. Chess rally. Now, we know that we're not supposed to be involved in this. And if any Israelite camps in the area, you're not supposed to be involved in that either, man. You shouldn't be. There's hundreds of thousands of people here. There's no edification. And what are you going to edify these people on? Who are you going to edify, man? Just period. Like, it just makes no sense. These are Palestinians here protesting. You have some Edomites and different nations and stuff there who are pro-Palestinian. They're there. You have some veterans that are there. Man, don't get involved in that. And, what the Apostle Har said in there, it's just been reiterated again. People are their emotions are hot. One lady, I read the article, one lady said she lost her cousins and things like that there in Palestine. So we're not to be involved in there, messing with people, cursing them out, man, because then they'll turn violent and they'll get on you, like all the brothers have been talking about. But I was gonna bring out some things that I had in my head, right? So I think it's 2 Esdras, the 9th chapter, basically when there should be uproars, earthquakes, and uproars of the people in the world, then that's when the highest is going to visit the world which he made, which I think is 2 Esdras, the 9th chapter. The first couple parts of the chapter is measured out of time diligently. We know the scriptures, the measuring stick of how you measure the times, right? And I was seeing uproars of the people here in Washington, D.C. And of course, this is being kind of spinned as a rally, as a protest and things like that. But if you read the comments, I'm not really going to read all of them again. But these guys here in the comment section, like I guess a lot of right-wing guys, they're getting mad and saying, okay, well, you call the January 6th protest, you call that a riot, an insurrection, which, yes, that was a step above this. They're not running into any buildings. So far as I see here, they're just saying, no ceasefire, no vote, which that goes back to what I was saying before, earthquakes of the people. They're pretty much saying we're going to withhold our vote, which is, the start of, more and more hostilities within the Arabians or Ishmaelites, which are in this country, basically standing against the government. This is just the beginning of it that we're seeing right here, right now. But to go into the other point, they're doing a lot of spinning here. They're not spinning this as a riot, like they spin the protesters that were there as riots, and they spin the whole thing as just a big old riot, big old insurrection, when you did also have peaceful protesters. And that's just going to make more of, the American people who are like more, I guess, right-wing, make them more upset. So all this stuff is causing division. We know that. Was it Matthew 12 and 25? I keep mentioning it. Hopefully I got it right. But we know that a kingdom divided against itself will not stand, and a house that divided against itself will fall, basically, essentially. That's what Yahushua is saying. That was that. Now, the second thing that I was thinking of, Elder Apostle Tahar, I saw his video. I don't think I saw all of it, but I think I saw pieces of it or something. But, he mentioned with the whole WFI, going out there, or I don't know which of their guys, one of their camps, were speaking against out at a Palestinian protest, I think in Chicago or something. It started into a whole big scuffle. Apparently, it's made news, which, number one, you're getting the whole ministry blown up. You're blowing up the whole ministry, You don't want to do that. You give us all a bad name. And now they're going to say all of us are like that, which is what they always do. Right? And some of these guys here are agent provocateurs and things like that. I think Apostle said he believes that Zabak is one of those type of men, guys like that. And I mean, of course, you have other kind of groups that have like guns and stuff. Sakari is like that, right? Those are provocateurs. They're there to provoke the people against, the Israelites, essentially. Those of us who know that are Israelites and go out there and provoke the people against the ministry as a whole, which is going to usher in, the times that you read about in places such as Second Esdras, the 16th chapter, right, where they're going to come upon the men of the Lord. I believe if you read like Second Esdras towards the end, it'll tell you all about that, right? Things like the hour of temptation and so on and so forth. Lock us up in prison houses and FEMA camps, and try to crack us and make us take MOTBs, right? Which the true men of the Lord will not take no MOTB. If you're the elect, you're not going to take the MOTB. If you're like Israelite, you're an Israelite, you keep the laws and commandments to the best of your ability, and you're the elect, right? And you don't take it, then, we get that salvation at the end. That's the reward. Right, and I say it, but that stuff it's none of that. What I just said is easy, right? Like, it's just not easy. It's not going to be easy. It's something that I can't explain because we haven't been here yet. So I'll just leave it like that. It's like if you're programming something and you're like talking to someone and you're like, hey man, all you need to do is like set this variable to that and that and that, do this, do that. Right? It sounds easy on paper, but then when you do it, it's like 5 hours of fucking work. It's something like that. It's something that sounds easy enough, but when you're actually going through it, it's much more complex than you think. But that was that. I wanted to talk about that. Other thing I wanted to talk about was the Apostle Har. He was talking. His lesson, I think this is what I was going to talk about. He said, why are the serpents harmless as doves? Right, and that was one that I was thinking about with the whole, Sakari, WFI, going to speaking out at this Palestinian protest. He mentioned that, like a dove, Buddha Simu mentioned it, like a dove, you get close to a dove, the dove will fly away, right? And then I did my own research because I was like, I never really thought of it like that, even though it was always there, and I always realized, I always knew that, like, obviously, a dove is not a harmful creature. A dove ain't gonna fucking, do, like, some wild shit, right? But I wanted to do my own research and my own digging so that I can have my own version of how I bring that out for myself. And all I did was look up, why are serpents wise, right? Or why are serpents called wise? And then you get the first link, and it'll tell you that serpents are wise because they find hiding spots where they hide from attack, right? So they find hiding spots and they hide away from attack, right? And we're the same way. It's the way we're supposed to be in that mind state. If we know that an area is not good, we're supposed to hide ourselves and find shelter elsewhere where we will be able to teach freely, right? So we hide ourselves away from attack, right? Now I'm not saying to go camp in like a back alley something. We're supposed to be in the chief places of concourse, but you're not supposed to be in areas that are openly dangerous, So don't be in the projects or something, or like a really, really bad area, right? Because you want to keep yourself safe from harm, right? And I guess likewise also, say like you were in like a really like fucked up kind of like town or something, and like that town is like known for just like, I don't know, like racist or some shit running around. I don't know, man. Maybe you don't camp in that town. Maybe you go to a different town or a different city, or something, man. You gotta figure that whole thing out, But I wouldn't recommend anyone to camp in places that will put their own lives at harm, right? Because if you're dead, you can't teach. So keep that in mind, right? You can't do your job if you're dead. You got work to do. Also, what the thing that I saw said, I don't know the name of the website. You can just look it up. But they also talked about how serpents basically assess a situation in entirety before they make their attack. Right now, we're not attacking anyone. I'm not gonna, we're not out there to be Hebrew, warriors or something and beat people up. That's not the time for that, right? There's a time and a place for everything. Like it says in Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, right? It's a time of peace, time of war. A time for this, a time for that, right? I'm not saying that we're in a time of peace, hardly. But there's a time to make war, okay? And the time to make war is not right now, all right? This is the time for us to get ourselves right, mentally, spiritually, so on and so forth. We're in the time of mercy. You're in a mercy period, right? And you're supposed to get yourself correct before, all hell, before all hell breaks loose. The time mercy ends, and it's time to, be on the move, right? Be pilgrims upon the earth, which I think is also written in 2nd Edda 16 towards like the end, right? I don't want to always keep talking about games, but it's similar to like if you play like any sort of like zombie survival game or any game that has like waves, right? There's always that kind of period where you're able to go buy a new gun or something, and then you go out and the game begins and you go out and kill the enemies or things like that, right? Or like Resident Evil, they have like a safe room and you're there and you're safe and you go back out. You know what I mean? So you have stuff like that essentially. Now, to go back to the serpent, right? We're supposed to, be wise serpents, harmless as doves, right? So be wise serpents. Instead of attacking people, before you make your moves out there in that street, in that world, you're supposed to assess everything, then make your move. So assess your camp spot. All right, is this camp spot? So like 1 million people over here, and am I putting myself in a high degree of danger? Is there going to be a big protest passing through here? Things like that you want to go ahead and account for. So that was pretty much that. A little bit long-winded. The other thing, the soft answer turneth away wrath. So say you were caught in a situation like that. First the best thing is to obviously move, right? But say if while you're setting up, you're removing yourself from the area, that people start asking you questions and say this, that, and that, then you have to say what you got to say and say, hey, I don't really have an opinion on that. I'm not really qualified to speak on that, or we don't really get into things like that, and just give them a soft answer so then they'll leave you the fuck alone and then you can go on your way, right? So that was pretty much it. You got this whole thing here. You got people giving their whole commentaries. I'm not going to read all of them, but yeah, people are speaking up against it, and comment section on X is fucking wild, bro. All right, Lil One Edified, Shalom.